And why when nobody's at school?
A rival religion.
Right.
I could think of one.
There is the Buddhist temple or the Hindu temple behind us in the hills.
Oh yeah.
The way you're sitting, Danny, it makes it look like something's coming out of your nose with your microphone.
Oh,
it's pretty funny.
Before you go live,
I'm already live.
Oh,
I said I was going live, and you said okay, so I did it.
No, I did not say okay.
Well, somebody said okay.
I don't know if I even responded.
I mean,
when we talk, don't mention where we're playing.
Right, obviously.
Well, I just need to put it out there.
Well, I figured that when you're like, don't, hence why I asked to share, like, should I share the picture of us playing? I was like, no.
Even though John already did, kind of. Yeah,
you can't see anything in that picture.
Except my big stomach.
I mean, that's...
We all could have just been breaking quarantine together, right? One of our houses.
Hold on one second. Let me find... I need this. I'm going to check... Where's the fuck is... Oh, man. I'm going to check this while we're recording. I'm not going to tell John because I need to buy the stuff before John gets there.
Uh-oh.
What are you talking about?
I told you on Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you again. Then what else do I need to look at? I guess I should look at the show.
I'm not buying anything. What are you going to buy that I want?
I don't know. Whatever you say. I'm just going to buy it just to have it.
Whatever. It's fine. I already got the two Spacewell Dreadnoughts I wanted. I'm good.
All right. I can find ours because ours is the one with the 0. Oh, now it says 2. Oh, ads. Boo.
Yay.
Ads.
2 people watching.
Well, one of them's me.
So. We have one person watching. Who is it?
And the other one, I think, is John.
Yay.
So that sounds about right.
No, if you're logged in as TFG and watching, it doesn't count it. And I think you're logged in as TFG, right?
No, I'm logged in as my personal.
Okay. Oh, see, Ish is here. Oh, we have 7 people.
Ish is there, see?
Oh, hey, there you go. What's up, people?
Hold on. I was watching the Mortal Kombat trailer earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's
bloody.
It looks no worse than the 90s one. I mean, it's bloodier than the 90s one, so therefore it's going to be better.
It's the campiness of the 90s one with modern CGI and more...
I don't think there's campiness in it.
Yeah, it looks relatively serious.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I mean...
How can you do a Mortal Kombat movie and not have it be campy? I mean, it's going to be... It's Mortal Kombat.
I mean, DC tries it, and you see how far that gets them.
Poor DC.
Wow. Wow.
Just saying.
You said it, and I didn't contradict you. So.
I mean, that's also true. I mean, the thing is, like, I do feel bad a bit for DC in that they were spoiled in the sense of, like, Christopher Nolan does the Batman trilogy, and it's great. But that's also because, like, and, it's obviously very serious, but it's like, it's Batman. It's a dude. It's just a, psychopathic billionaire who goes around, beating up people.
Right. Which people end up liking him for somehow, but yes.
Yeah. But it's very different than, like, here's these immortal beings and, here's Wonder Woman and Superman and blah, blah, blah. When it's like, yeah, you can't,
Well, it's hard to make gods, like, weak.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with DC Comics is a lot, their 2 of their characters are essentially gods.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Batman was always more interesting just because it's like he's a dude and he still has to compete with all of these insanely powerful entities. Yes. Right? Like, and what's the one thing I do? I doubt they'll do it, but I would really like them to portray Batman as like what his real superpower besides being obscenely wealthy is that he's like a genius, right? And he's like the world's greatest detective.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
right. Yeah. I just think most screenwriters aren't smart enough to make a story like that where it's about intelligence versus intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the best example of that is when it's him versus the Joker, because it's intelligence versus absolute insanity.
Right.
Right.
Also, intelligent insanity, I suppose.
Yeah, insane intelligence.
Yeah. All right, you want me to count us in?
Do you want to go over the Danny? Do you want to go over the show notes really quick?
No, I mean it's not really. I mean, it's going to be useless with John on anyway. Here? Yeah.
That's not very nice.
What? You're just going to derail everything we try to do. So
not on purpose.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Never on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
I mean, Tom's not here to interrupt, but you know.
That's true. It will be a shorter show probably because of that.
I mean, I can rant. I can always rant.
Yeah.
Talk about Warcraft.
No. You have to wait till Saturday for that.
Why Saturday?
Because Saturday's another reveal, but it's only Age of Sigmar stuff. It's only the fantasy side.
That's fine.
So it's
Sigmar looks fine.
It's Sigmar, Warcry, and Warhammer Quest related.
And Underworlds, right? Or no?
Yes, sure. Why not? I don't care. I guess.
Is it more Slaanesh stuff? Because I'm kind of sick of that.
No, because Slaanesh was just released.
Yeah, so I think they're getting
what I forgot to add is what we're gonna do is to try to get, I guess, some traction on the Patreon, because it's essentially dipped to the point where it doesn't benefit me anymore. Is to do basically like a giveaway every month for Patreon only.
Okay.
So Chad again let me use a prize that they have to give away.
Nice.
You just got to start that TFG OnlyFans and get that money.
That's okay.
I mean, I'm sure someone would pay to see it.
What I need to do is get an aggregate site for just 40K porn and just have them pay for that.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, that would work.
I'm not going to touch that one. not even. Nope.
It's not surprising it exists. It's still just really disappointing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
True. All right, I'm going to count us in. Ready?
All right.
Sure.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TFG Radio. As you can hear and see, depending on what format you're watching this in. Today I'm joined by John on the Wheels of Steel, as always. And this week we have Danny.
Hey.
And,
assuming my kid doesn't wake up and start screaming.
No Tom this week. So some small
glimmer of hope.
Yes. Some small happiness. But it's been kind of slow a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think we talked about the tournaments from a couple of weeks ago. A little bit of I wouldn't call it controversy, but just I don't know. I guess it's kind of
Did you say my favorite word with a capital C?
I guess when Tasty Taste is involved, it kind of is.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good marker of such.
Oh yeah. As soon as an article goes up on Blood of Kittens, you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and there hasn't been that many.
Well, it's been slow
since COVID. For those of you that have been paying attention to tournaments, there was a tournament in Kansas City. No,
Kansas,
Wichita.
Wichita. Yeah.
Why are we talking about a tournament in Kansas? Was the price more corn?
Oh, hateful.
So there's a tournament in Wichita.
John's elite West Coast bias coming out here.
And people always get on me because I'm from the West Coast, so I can get on there for growing corn.
Or
what the hell they do there in Kansas.
I thought I saw something like there's not actually that many people employed in agriculture in those states.
No,
it's nowhere near as high as.
Yeah, because it's all giant corporate farms with huge machines now, all the combines and stuff, and a couple of years it'll all be robots. Nobody will have jobs.
All robots.
Socialist universal basic income will become a reality, and everybody will have to read themselves to sleep at night.
That's cute. It's cute you think that.
Oh, I don't actually think I'm just making jokes.
Yeah.
Just trying to trigger people into the chat.
Yeah,
yeah, sure. Besides them making us look like inmates. So someone from Goonhammer had attended the event or tried to attend the event, and they had issues with the COVID precautions that were in place, and decided not to be in the event. There's some I've heard through the grapevine that there have been some. One of the issues may have been the fact of how a piece of terrain was ruled, or some ruling that was made that they didn't like.
Wait, what does terrain have to do with COVID protocols?
I don't know.
I understand.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So he wrote an article about COVID protocols, but
in the article,
terrain ruled against him. I'm misunderstanding. What's happening?
He did mention in the article that it was not because of that ruling.
Oh, but why did he have to qualify it then?
It seems weird you'd have to mention that. But
yeah, why would you have to call it out that it's not about something that
so
nobody reading the article would know about?
So the article basically goes on to basically explain how it was a bad thing for them to like have this event anyway, and that the COVID precautions were not very good at the event. They did allow the organizer, which is BAM, for those that know, who does the Flying Monkey Con. They did have him. That's what he goes by.
All names are made up anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
Words aren't real.
Yes. So he basically gave a rebuttal in regards to the article. But other things that came up after the article was written was that that the person that wrote the article also had attended later that day I believe a wine tasting, and had been at a bar without a mask.
Yeah,
that day also.
So it was clearly
special.
about COVID protocols.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not going to attend your tournament because you said people can remove their masks if they agree to and while they're eating, and I'm instead going to go to a bar.
Yep.
And not wear a mask at the bar.
Totally tracks. I mean, that's all very consistent, very normal, logical progression of thought.
Bars and wine tasting, places that have been proven over and over again to be places where it spreads. Because people drink and lower their inhibitions and forget their masks and their social distancing guidelines.
Or just really big part of it is you just get louder when you're drinking and you project your voice, which means you're spraying particles even farther than you normally would.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get louder when I drink.
Tom knows.
Hell, I do. Adam knows.
Yeah, he does. The other thing that he mentioned, that the author mentioned, was the fact that he was in the running for top, I believe it was Space Marine in ITC.
Okay.
Which again, like John mentioned, you wouldn't really know as a reader unless he happens to mention it. And I don't know why you would mention it, to be honest.
I was going to say, why is that relevant to the conversation? If it is about like pointing out like, hey, this is not how to do an event during this, time period, et cetera, why is that relevant material?
Right. And my whole, it is an editorial, and it says so in big bold letters at the front. At the headline. I understand that, but I mean it's more of like but even as an editorial there is something to be said of I guess integrity in regards to article writing, or if you're going to put somebody on blast, which is basically what the article was.
Well, it's one of those things of if you're going to go with the this is a editorial, it's not necessarily held to the same standards as any, as other journalists, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a huge discussion. That's always been a discussion in journalism of, how much you let editorials go off the rails, essentially, because like it is kind of a cheap pass to be like, well, it's an editorial. It's okay. It's not really reflective of us, but it's like, but you published it. You allowed it to be out. You gave it the platform. Therefore, you are endorsing it to some extent because you feel, even if you don't agree with it personally, you are still allowing it into the marketplace of ideas, right? Without just squashing it as bunk to begin with. So I think, you can't really hide behind that. Like, it's just an editorial. It's like, sure, but it is still, you are still publishing it, which means you have to take some responsibility for what it is in it.
Can we potentially hide behind the idea that an article on a 40K website isn't actually journalism.
Yeah. I mean, that's also too like.
So why are you holding them to that standard? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying everybody takes this shit too seriously. Calm down.
Yeah, I mean that is also a very fair point.
I mean, I know the articles that I write aren't meant to be taken seriously, but I sometimes get. Although I don't have the distinction of having an article taken down, John.
That's true.
I've had 2 taken down.
But I don't try for that.
Pretty good.
So.
I didn't try for it. It just happened. What do you want from me?
Yeah. I don't write anything.
That's what I try to tell my wife's parents.
You know what? I don't think the one was taken down. If I remember right, it was heavily edited.
I know of one that was taken down.
One was taken down. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, there was absolutely one. Just
the one prior to that was I think a couple years before that one. Because I've been writing for them a long time.
Right.
And the one got heavily edited after the posting. Oh no! And then there was the other one. There was the other one where they had to put the caveat at the beginning of it, which was this article is only the opinions of Salty John. It does not reflect the opinions of Reese and Frankie.
Was that the one with when you talked about Spiky Bits?
I talked about Spiky Bits and they got mad and they called me Salty Balls.
Yeah,
that was funny. And you know how that was handled when at the LVO when he's like,
"Oh, that was hilarious."
Have beef? You know how that was handled? Was no, we don't have beef. That was on the internet. The internet's not real. And we had a beer and everything was fine.
Yeah.
Internet is not real. Don't tell me that.
No, all of our fame and power.
Yeah.
Our gravitas.
Yeah, so like I don't take any of my articles serious, or at least I try not to. You know, other people may because they don't see the tag that says editorial or humor or I think the name Grognard should tip people off, but whatever.
Should. You'd think the name Salty John would tip people off, but you know what? It hasn't yet.
Here we are.
We still get complaints.
Yes.
To which we respond with, the author's name is literally Salty something.
Right.
What do you expect from this?
Don't know what you're expecting, yeah. That should be one of those you should go in with your eyes on that.
So saying that it is basically 40K and not real journalism, should they have? Because
they absolutely should have taken him down when they realized that dude wrote that article, and then or got mad, claimed it was about protocols, and then decided to go drinking without a mask. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Because instead they kept it up and just put a disclaimer in the front that we know he did this shitty thing, but we still believe in the message. I think is what they said.
All jokes about the internet not being real and 40K blogs not being journalism aside, yes, it should have been taken down simply for the fact that it's completely disingenuous.
It's not even that; it's someone's business too. Like if people obviously take COVID. Of varying levels of seriousness, but especially in the kind of world we live in today, I could absolutely see someone reading that and being like, well, who's local to the Wichita area, who maybe didn't go because they're like, yeah, even with the protocols, I don't feel safe doing it. Who'd be like, wow, I'm never fucking going to that store again. Right. If that's how they treat it, right? Like, and this is a small business, right? In a time where small businesses are under existential threats, right? Like, so that alone is, I think, something for concern. Right. It's just like, yes, it is just a 40K blog, but it's still like this has a tangible impact on this person's business.
It's also one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like this is some random dude.
I don't know why you people read that blog so much.
Because they like numbers and they talk big.
Like, fine.
I'd like it because they're one of the few places that still do long form articles because I don't have time. I like in the my work and my life, I can't watch videos. I can't just listen to podcasts and everything. So having like a long form article is something I can read, right?
And they actually make an effort.
Yeah, they do. They're not just like
you get shit
cheap
like See, I guess that's my problem. Is my only encounters with Goonhammer have always been this kind of junk.
I mean, I always read their codex reviews and stuff like that. I don't agree with everything they say, but at least is generally well presented. Even if I think they're wrong, it's still at least well presented. And is useful.
To leave that up with just a simple disclaimer is just silly. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree. They should have just pulled it because again, the whole premise is supposed to be, and they even say like we take COVID very seriously. And they were also, I mean, there were more than a few people in the Goonhammer squad who were like mad at the ITC for not canceling the season and things like that.
The guy who went was mad for the ITC not canceling the season. The guy who wrote that article posted a terribly made meme, by the way, guy. That was like one of the worst memes I've ever seen.
Greatest offenses to John
possible. You could
at
least put a little effort into trying to Photoshop Reese's head properly to make fun of the fact that Reese would not cancel the season, which we've already been over. Canceling the season wouldn't have stopped people from playing. But
right.
No.
That aside,
it's also not
the guy who went off the rails about it at the very beginning of the season, then spent the rest of the season running around chasing points to try to beat a Space Marine to the point where he goes to an event, but then won't play at an event because of COVID, but then goes and drinks at a bar without a mask on.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to say cancel the season, why are you? How are you in the position to compete for one of the most sought after factions? Right. Like, it's not like, oh man, I was going to be best in like Inquisition. Right. It's like best in Space Marines, man. You have
best
to
in
play
Agents in the Imperium. That's not even a thing anymore. Yeah, but I was still going to be it. Like, you're literally going after Space Marines. Come on, dude.
Right.
After you went off the rails about how the season should be canceled and everything.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, again, there's a certain, I mean, let's just call it what it is. There's a certain hypocrisy in it all of them having this kind of very, this very specific stance about like COVID should mean a canceled season. It's not fair, et cetera, et cetera. You're endangering people's safety. And if that's their position, fine, that's their position, right? Yeah. But then to, put a tournament and a store and a relatively prominent person in the community on blast for it, based on someone's viewpoint who clearly didn't actually care about the COVID protocols and about COVID, because if they actually did care about it, they wouldn't have gone fucking wine tasting.
And they wouldn't have been chasing ITC points all around the Midwest.
Right. They wouldn't drive. I mean, didn't the guy have to drive like 8+ hours or whatever to get there? Like, okay, so that's not like, oh, well, my home, where I live, they're having a small event. I'm going to go, like, I'll take that risk. It's going to be fine. It's like, dude, you are traveling. You are crossing state lines. Yeah. You are doing exactly what they say not to do.
Going to, what did you only ever eat like in your car and like, right. I mean, what kind of protocols were you following? I mean, come on, guy.
Yeah, no, the disingenuity, the hypocrisy, I mean, it really does. With that information, it really becomes clear that this seemed more like a personal vendetta that's motivating this, or a personal beef, as opposed to someone actually caring about the health and safety of the community. Yeah. Right, which I'm fine with. If someone wants to be really hard edge and be like, there should be no events, we have to protect people's lives, and they walk that walk, right? Then good for them, and I genuinely understand and appreciate their position. I don't necessarily agree, but I genuinely understand that position. Yeah. But when you're going to act all kind of holier than thou and like, this is about protecting people, and then go fucking do something even riskier, it's basically like, okay, guy, for whatever reason you decided to try and put a hit piece up. And I'm not going to try to say I know what those reasons are, but and it is a hit piece, right?
Absolutely,
then like
it's a hit piece, yeah.
There's no reason, if you want to claim your site is a fair and nuanced take on the 40K hobby, you cannot in good conscience keep that up once you know that it's just a hit piece, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because again, that's what it is, and there's a big difference between being critical of something and just actively going out of your way to just shit on it because you want to.
Yep. True.
No, I agree.
So, yeah, I was very disappointed with Goonhammer's response. I mean, when I remember reading the article, I was like, wow, this guy talks about himself a lot for apparently being angry at this store. That I was just stylistically noticing, like, man, this guy literally couches everything in like his perspective as opposed to commenting on something. And then when, we started hearing of like, oh, this guy traveled this far and this guy went wine tasting, did this, I was really upset that Goonhammer didn't just be like, you know what, we shouldn't have this on this site. Because again, it's not like it'd be one thing too if it was like an ITC event like put on by Frontline, which is, a relatively, I mean, still a small business, but it's a relatively larger small business in this, in the community.
The name in the game, so it would be different.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is a person who runs a tournament out of their game store, right? Like, this is a small business. This is not, and you're sitting there fucking with their livelihoods because you want to, or you're upset, or, you just need some attention. I don't know why they did that, but it, didn't seem like there was any good reason to do it.
No.
So yeah, I think
as soon as you peel
if nothing else,
as soon as you peel away the, I'm going to be outraged about the COVID thing because they cannot possibly, in good conscience, be outraged about that, then there is no reason to write that article.
No.
Zero.
Again, and it's one thing if Grunehammer replaced it with an article in general about we need to be really strident about our health and safety measures at an event. You should try to exceed your county or state ordinances, right, et cetera, et cetera. That's one thing. But to just basically call out I didn't like this event and how it was doing it was it followed
all the guidelines, all that kind of stuff. And while honestly it was not an event I would have attended, where hey, yeah, we can just agree not to wear a mask, I'd be like, no.
Right.
But I'm also not going out and making a bunch of memes and blasting them about it.
Right. And I mean, that's part of it too. It's just really a lot of this debate comes down to, people wanting to enforce their standards of acceptable in this scenario. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's untenable. It's just, you can't really do that. I mean, if people are comfortable, if you go to a 40K tournament, you are assuming risk, right? Right now. And that's your individual risk to assume, and including the consequences of you put other people besides yourself at risk, right? And you have to be comfortable with that. It's not just you getting sick, it's who do you infect, because you get sick, et cetera, et cetera. But it's that's still your personal responsibility to accept and to understand what you're doing, right? And it's okay to be I wouldn't do an event right now. Really won't do an event until I'm vaccinated, right? But that's, but I can't sit there and get mad at people who are in a place that allows events that do have measures put in place. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If people choose to do that, that's their choice.
Bro, you better believe that when I have that date of my second shot finally set, I'm going to be looking up every event that's 2 weeks after that date.
That's within reasonable driving distance.
Dude, fuck reasonable.
Yeah, true. We going to Texas,
as long as Texas isn't still 14 degrees under zero, it's in play.
Access of Entry is saying that Goonhammer does not claim to be fair or nuanced. Yeah, I don't remember them ever claiming that, but
I wouldn't know.
I mean, it's hard to be honest, like we mentioned earlier, they're not a real journalistic entity.
Sure. So no one is. There's not an official 40K sports publication.
What about Tabletop Inquirer?
Are you telling me that my articles I write as Salty John for Frontline Gaming are not actual journalism?
About as much as mine.
I better go change my LinkedIn profile.
Fuck it.
I have
everyone lies on the LinkedIn profile.
Gaming journalist written on my.
Is that what yours says?
I don't know what it says. I don't think it says that. LinkedIn's another one of those things where I'm like, this isn't real.
Yeah, I still get alerts about that. And I'll get, hey, do you know this guy? Do you want to be linked with him? I go, no, I fucking hate that guy.
I wish you could put that in. That would be great.
Jason
as
Horn.
a little person.
Stop trying to request Adam on LinkedIn.
I didn't want to put him on blast, but it was Jason Horn.
Brilliant.
God damn it, I hope he listens to this.
Who I'm going to say is not a Warhammer hero because he hasn't got his medal yet. There, I said it.
Oh, God.
Wow, there's the real hot take.
Dude, I wouldn't even do that. God damn, Adam.
Hey, show me the medal.
It's one thing to kill a man, it's another to piss on his grave.
No, I'm saving the dancing for my father-in-law.
Oh.
I had to look and see if my wife was nearby.
What was that, Adam? Nothing.
Can you repeat that again, but louder? Since
I'm going around bursting bubbles, Danny, apparently it's only going to be Sigmar, Underworlds, and Warhammer Quest for the previews on Saturday.
That's okay. I'm getting more and more interested in playing Sigmar as I get more closer and closer to being able to play again more often.
Really? Uh-oh. Now you know.
The models are gorgeous. I mean, that's always the thing.
The Sigmar
models are gorgeous.
The only thing about Sigmar, which is why I went back to a lot of the historicals, is that because it's just on round bases again. So I'm already doing that with 40K.
Yeah. It's just every time I see an Archaon painted, I'm like, oh, God, I want that fucking model.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking model.
And I think you can play him and
just some knights.
And like 4 knights or whatever, right? It's like a full army.
I mean, you might as well do the giant knight army or whatever, the Gargants or whatever they call them.
Yeah, the Gargants.
But Archaon's on a dragon.
That's true. That's very fucking true.
I don't know.
Come on, man, it's Archaon.
I was thinking of the Gargants because you only need, I think it's 2 of the.
My ass in Total War Warhammer Fantasy.
I think you only
need
2 or 3 of the giant ones, and then 3 of the little ones.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay. I was talking to Ben Schmoller about it because he's been playing Sigmar, and I was talking to him about the giant Gargants.
Yeah,
I was like,
they're not very good.
Sigmar Knights. That's what he says. He's like, they're not good, but you already play Knights, which aren't good, so you can play that.
That's what I've heard too. I've heard they're not good, but you're playing Knights, so the game you don't take very long. So
more time for dranks.
Exactly.
Since we're talking about GTs, locally we have for those that are local know about the Dice Hammer GT. They run about 2 a year, and one of them last year, 2 years ago, one of them was a team tournament. This next month they're actually trying to run a GT with a very different format, and what they're going to try to do is they're going to run a 10-man, I guess for lack of a better term, RTT for 3 Saturdays in a row, and then the top 2 from each move on to the next round, and then the next two highest scorers out of the 3 tournaments also move on. So then on, I think it's April 10th. They're going to play an 8-man RTT to determine who wins the GT.
It's a cool format. I like it.
And because it's Orange County, they're allowed to have events, small events, which is why they're doing the 10-man outside.
Yep, all outside.
So they're playing 40K outside. I haven't played 40K outside in a while. Last time I did, it was like 100 degrees, and we made the losers. Whoever was at the bottom table will play outside.
That was a Game Empire, right?
Huh?
That was a Game Empire, right? I was at that one.
No, this was at Hobbytown, USA in Santa Clarita.
The old Game Empire, the old location.
Yeah, the old one.
There was an art.
Well, no, at the original location, yes.
Yeah, we had to put tables outside for Art Boys twice. I played on one of those tables for Art Boys. It sucked. It was like
playing outside in SoCal in the summer seems good.
Yeah, weren't you? You were there, right, Danny?
Yes, I was. I didn't have to play on those tables.
Nope, I did. It's like 98 degrees. The worst Art Boys was the one where I got the buy round one because it meant I could not win.
Yes,
that's usually what happens when you get.
And it was the regionals too. It wasn't even the first one. I made it to the regionals, and then I auto lose the regionals.
Yep.
John, what do you think of the format?
I like it. If I have a vaccine in my arm within 2 weeks of one of those ones, I'll do it.
Well, you have to sign up, I think, soon.
Well, I'll always sign up for a drop. There'll be a drop.
Well, okay.
What else am I going to do?
There's always a drop.
Then drive down.
Well, that's a problem because they're skirting the edge on that because it's only going to be 30 players.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be able to get people. It's fine. I'm joking. I probably won't sign up for a spot just because the day where they combine them all is the day that there might be a tournament locally, and I would probably prefer to play that one.
Well, because I think it's closer.
Not only that, but it would be good to support them. The first one. Yeah. So, and I would not want to take a spot thinking, okay, well, I might be able to do this if teachers are allowed to get vaccinated at a certain point and blah, 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 and then back out and then ruin their count by being one of the idiots who backs out,
Right.
So, but I do like
and you can only sign up for one date, so you can't sign up for each, playing each each pod. It reminds me, and I mentioned this in our chat. It reminds me of the league Jeff ran, where it was kind of similar, where you played in your pod, and then the top 2, we got a top 8 and played in like a mini RTT or something like that.
Yeah, and then it basically counted like a GT in terms of points, just without the multiplier.
So the difference is the difference between leagues and RTTs and GTs, because in ITC a league can score you a point the same as an RTT or GT. The difference is you don't get the consecutive win modifier.
Yeah. Right.
So there's not that big of a difference because I don't think the modifier is as big as it used to be.
We don't know because they don't publish the math anymore.
No. And so so technically it's a league, but because of the situation we're in worldwide, where ITC is allowing it to be considered a GT.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm curious to see how that goes. Hopefully nobody drops, because if they lose 3 people to dropping, or if 3 people drop before the tournaments even start, then it's not gonna. It's a moot point because it won't be considered a GT.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
But I do like it. I like that ITC allowed it. It's a good format. It works. It's perfect for the time.
Especially for the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their packet, they already have more or less the layout, and then the missions that will be played. It looks like the same 3 missions will be played throughout all the RTTs,
which is the right way to do it. Like, they're clearly putting enough thought into this and are doing well. Dice Hammer always runs good stuff. So if you've listened to the show before, you know that Dice Hammer, and then the 2 events Adam runs, Battle for LA and Hammer of Wrath, always draw in like the best SoCal players. The fields are always stacked.
Well, the year, which I guess is 2 years ago now, the year that Jim Vessel made his run initially started with Dice Hammer in March.
Yep.
He happened to be in LA for some meeting or convention or whatever, and then he signed up for the RTT, for the GT, and then won the GT, and then he won a string of them, and then kind of petered out towards the end. But
that's more the list than him.
Well, that was the adjustments to the Plague Bearers. Then so we'll see. I'm curious. Like I said, we'll keep everybody informed on how that's going, because it doesn't start till like the end of March, which I hopefully will have my first dose of vaccine by then, my first shot.
Theoretically I should as well, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually make it to one of the Saturdays. So I'm in kind of the same boat as John of
you don't want to take a spot.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm keeping my A1C high on purpose so I can get the.
I'm keeping. That's a bad idea, dude. Come on. God. I'm holding out for that April tournament locally. I'm hoping that it happens.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to go. Since every one of the newly announced Frontline Gaming tournaments, I will not be able to go to.
The many.
I can't believe it. I literally looked at my calendar and was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. The first one's in June.
That's graduation weekend for work. The one in July is my anniversary. The one in September is my daughter's birthday.
What's the one in July?
The one in July isn't that Atlantic City?
No, Atlantic City is June.
Okay. There's one in July. I think that's Texas. Texas is July.
Oh, the Lone Star Open.
That one I can't go to. The SoCal Open is the weekend before Natalie's birthday, my wife.
Yes.
December is December, but I could maybe go to that one, but it's the one in New Orleans. So do I really want to pay for a trip to New Orleans right before Christmas?
The September, I believe, is
That's the Christmas present for the fam.
Yeah.
The September, I believe, is the Las Vegas team tournament.
Yeah, and that one I can't go to because
that's
Eve's birthday weekend.
No. Oh. You just have poor planning, John.
Yeah, really.
Apparently, you know what?
Just get even to 40K.
Tinfoil hat on, and Reese just doesn't want me coming to any of his events.
It could be that too. It's because of the articles you write, and he has to take them down.
Yep.
He had to take down one.
The North Carolina one that Axis is asking about.
I don't think they announced the date, right?
Does he mean the which one's in North Carolina?
They said that there was going to be one.
Oh, they haven't announced it yet.
But they haven't announced the dates.
Yeah.
There's several that they don't have dates for, because they said there's something eventually there's going to be something like 12 or 14 or 800, I don't know. But
Jesus.
There's going to be more.
For the pass, the FLG event pass or convention pass that lets you go to 3 events. That mentioned, and it includes, I think, this year and next year, and it said like 14 events.
Yes, over the course of those years, right?
Yes.
Yep. So, I know that they mentioned something in the Carolinas, but I don't. Yeah. They didn't give a date.
I think that I think I could make all of them.
Yes.
Good for you. I hate you so much. So much I hate you. You know I do this show.
I'm enjoying this show, by the way.
I'm sure you are.
I'm on a roll today. But I think I don't know if I can convince the missus that I can go to all of them. That's
need to go to all of them.
That's literally. I mean, maybe I know she wants to go to New Orleans.
So see, there you go.
Natalie wants to go to New Orleans too, but not in December.
Well, we could probably go. But I mean, for me, I wouldn't be playing in most of them. I'd probably just be helping judge. I'll probably play in SoCal Open.
I'd want to play in all of them except for the Texas one. I'd want to judge the Texas one.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
Wow, you are a glutton for punishment. Then
they all know
the fuck would you want to do that?
They all know why I want to be there.
Yes.
Give John Cook a red card for running over my foot in his rascal.
So I have to see. We still have to talk to Reese and see what's up because I know I volunteered for, but I didn't realize he was going to do like 100 tournaments in a year. Right. So I may have to see which ones I can make, or I can get. I already pushed the limit sometimes, so I needed to bend, not break. But that's what's going on with us. I think with the dice hammer
in that sentence.
Yeah.
I'm glad my office door is closed, by the way. I'm certain somebody never listens to this podcast ever.
Luckily, I wasn't loud enough, and my wife doesn't listen. So,
God, that'd be terrible.
Yeah. So make sure if you guys do plan on attending things like BAO or LVO, because it covers LVO, but I don't think it covers the VIP pass.
What's the deal with our tournaments? Hammer and Battle for LA?
Battle for LA, we originally had it scheduled for May.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's still kind of iffy because we would need time to like announce it and get it up and running. So we may have to either cancel it or move it.
Doing it on a smaller scale.
Well, we would have to anyway, but even then we don't know because we don't know what the restrictions are going to be for LA County.
That's true.
In
if you're
May.
going to hold it at Gameology Pasadena, which you should definitely go to and check out online.
Yep.
If you're going to
GameologyGames.com.
GameologyGames.com. If you're going to hold it there, that's different because it's Pasadena Health Department that you need to worry about.
Right. So I mean, it all depends on what they want us to do.
And so far, Pasadena has been much more accommodating.
Okay.
For what they allow as a health department than the state or the county.
Okay.
Since I
are you talking like is this the same Pasadena that wanted to change the parking meters and charge for parking? For parking?
I did not say that they will not screw you for parking because that has always been a tradition of Pasadena.
That's true.
I just meant
it's a long and proud tradition.
Like supporting small businesses and letting them be open to do stuff. They've been far more accommodating than others.
Well, they would have to so they can farm all those parking.
I know they need their parking revenue.
Correct. I've gotten a parking ticket out front of my own apartment complex.
Yeah, so right now we're hoping for May, maybe June, but the June is the Atlantic City Open.
Just do it the weekend of my birthday, so maybe I can actually do it. No, the weekend between Atlantic City and my birthday weekend. Do it that weekend.
Yes, so I can be away every weekend. I'm sure my wife would enjoy that.
I don't care about your love.
Probably.
Marriage.
It might be like we could probably do it like late Memorial Day weekend since BAO is not happening.
When the hell's Memorial Day?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. So
send all your hate mail to adam.solis@gmail.com.
It's funny, I don't have a Gmail account with my name. I have every other possible word you could think of. But I still have my Yahoo account. Leave me alone.
That's sad.
Since 95.
At least it's not AOL, I guess.
My mom still does.
Or Net Zero.
I used to have Earthlink.
Oh, yeah, or good old Earthlink.
I made a joke in the team Discord the other day about Netscape. Did you guys catch that one?
Yes, I did. For Hammer of Wrath, I think we were planning for I think we're still doing August.
Yeah, I think we were trying to do it earlier, right? Or was
I
that?
don't know. I'll have to look at the count. See, it depends if
Slaughterfest happens. Yeah.
Slaughterfest happens or not, because I've heard nothing. One of the guys who runs it doesn't even play 40K anymore, at least on competitive level.
Right. So.
Because that podcast is no longer around.
Right. Well, I mean, Slaughterfest doesn't happen. You could have Hammer of Wrath at Pachanka Casino. Hammer Slaughterfest Wrath. Hammer Slaughterfest Wrath.
No, once you see the prices of those rooms, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
That's why I was always like, I'll just stay with my parents.
So we'll see. Hammer of Wrath will most likely happen. I'm almost like 90% sure because everyone should be vaccinated by then, or enough people. Battle for LA, we'll have to play it by ear. I'm like 50-50 on it at this point, but we'll see.
I got a coin around here.
Moving on. Flip that coin later. One of the things I recently thought about was in regards to the basically new players and just new players in general coming to the game, because we're still seeing, even though we're in a.
I think about new players, all those baby seals you want to club.
Yes.
Come back.
Yes.
Club all the seals.
And I've seen a couple of posts or messages about certain terms, and one of the one that comes out is meta. And we talked a little bit about meta. No, that's only in the Tau group.
Yeah.
I had to Google that at one point because I was like, I do not understand what these fucking kids are talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, the kids.
That and the weeboo. I was like, what the fuck is the weeboo?
Oh, yeah.
And then I Googled and I was like, no.
Nope.
Why am I doing this myself? I got to stop Googling stuff.
No, mine was when I was playing a game and then I kept hearing like the term lolly and I'm like, the fuck is that? And then I looked it up and was like, okay, well, there goes the rest of my faith in humanity.
Correct.
I keep telling everybody, this is what happens when you drop 2 nuclear bombs on civilization.
Jesus Christ.
This is what you get. It's like that meme.
Do you know the Far Side meme? Where the guy goes into the time machine and he comes out and he announces,
yes,
I killed Hitler, right? Let's watch some hentai. And the guy goes, what's hentai?
Yep, exactly. That's what happens.
Goes, I killed Hitler. I can't wait to tell the Israelis. And the guy goes, what's Israel?
Damn.
I'm like, God, these are the worst.
Wow.
Where's more?
I am horribly offended. Can I please subscribe to your newsletter?
Yes. Where's the subscribe button? I'm going to ring the bell right now.
So meta, there's different definitions of meta, I guess, depending on there's the. Damn,
I was avoiding doing the joke. I really was.
And it's not
pronounced like show notes, and I had that prepared like within.
I know you did.
It's not pronounced that way. It's It's meta.
Meta. Oh.
Meta. It's the meta.
I thought it was pronounced meta.
It is meta.
Oh, okay.
So there's different definitions. There's the actual, dictionary definition, but for our usage, it's basically it's basically what armies are being played in your area. Yeah. That's more or less what it is.
Yeah. What wins in your area, and what are you likely to face in your area?
And thinking about there's different levels in regards to and the levels correspond with basically your area of that you're playing in or you plan to play in. So there's the local, which is more or less your store, your friends, maybe if you're lucky enough to have more than one store nearby.
Right.
It's stores around the area, whatever. It's like here in SoCal, a lot of people play Chaos. Chaos. You need to prepare. You're going to play against Chaos, whether it's Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Chaos, or Chaos Demons.
Right. You will, if you're in SoCal, at one point or another, you will draw a Chaos player.
Yeah. There'll be at least one Chaos army. I mean, you can go to RTTs and there won't be any Dark Eldar or Necrons or Orcs, but there'll always be I would say Space Marines and Chaos probably, or Imperium at least.
Well, Space Marines are usually everywhere.
Yes, well, yeah. Maybe not as much.
Even before they were good.
Huh?
Unless the TO bans them.
I did do that one time. I played it was a non-MEQ, which means Marines or equivalent.
Right.
Which is T4, strength 4, 3+ armor.
Lame.
Yep.
Sounds like
I banned every MEQ.
Sorry, that's a bad joke. Sorry, my bad. Sounds like a dumb tournament. Please don't cancel me, internet.
I didn't even hear you because I don't listen to you.
Yeah, I was tuning you out.
Hopefully that's just everybody. Pocono Pizza is Jeff's Orcs. It's the meta.
Oh, yeah. I'm basically just Jeff is the meta.
Our meta is so freaking messed up.
What are you talking about?
We have like an overabundance of chaos.
Yes,
an
we do.
Oddly large number of Grey Knights players.
Yes.
And then there's like a dearth of Space Marine players that are competent.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of really
But then you
mean
get Danny
Space Marine
Kwan, who
players.
plays either Dark Angels or Blood Angels, and just stomps everybody. And then you have whatever the hell Jeff decides to play.
Yep.
And then a bunch of Knights. Because whatever.
Because you play Knights.
Because I play Knights,
Well,
and so does like
all of us here play Knights.
And if Tim shows up, there's probably Knights, and sometimes Jacob plays Knights. And then there's going to be a bunch of Tyranids for no reason whatsoever. Like, our meta is so messed up.
Yep.
That's our meta.
Tyranids, but not a lot of GSC. Even when GSC were really good, we didn't have a lot of GSC players.
We didn't have GSC, that's true.
We had Jackson. And,
he played Necrons.
Yeah. He's primarily a Necron player.
So that's, and it's usually easy to keep track of what's going on because you just talk with your friends or talk with, the store owner or store manager, whoever's running the events, and they can give you an idea of what's happening at other stores. For me, the next level up would be more of a regional level. Almost basically for us, it would be more or less SoCal as a whole.
Right.
Which includes San Diego. We don't include the Northern California people because they don't count.
They don't
except for... No, we used to get the guys from like
Bakersfield and Santa Clarita, but the Santa Clarita group is dead. Bakersfield is having a resurgence. They may start coming because we're friends with some of the people who are a part of the resurgence.
Yeah. So but if they come here, they want us to go there, and I don't know about going to Bakersfield.
There's no reciprocation expected. Sorry, guys. Like if you
hear that, everyone.
To get games in, that's
Salty
your
John
own
does
thing.
not reciprocate.
Not unless I fucking want to.
It's got to be a little give and take.
Yeah,
that's correct.
We could probably convince some of the other
with a lot of give on your side and a lot of take on mine.
We could probably convince some of the other members of the group to go.
All right, DJ Khaled.
Oh man, that cuts so deep. Screw you. Another one.
So on that level, it takes a little bit more, and that can include like we could include like Nevada, like nearby states that sometimes we would travel to, like Arizona, Nevada, places like that, and that's when you usually start looking at other like websites, podcasts, YouTube, and don't get me started about all the new YouTube channels.
Oh God,
especially when they don't know how to spell.
You mean you don't like posts in Comp40K where they spell Harlequins 3 different ways?
all of them wrong.
Were they all wrong too?
Harlequins and Heraldkins, whatever Heraldquin is. Yes, all incorrect, except for when it's the actual YouTube title line, which was correct. The title of their own video was incorrect. On the image, it was incorrect. In the post, it was incorrect. But the root URL link spelled it correctly.
So the fourth try is a charm. Yeah, I've noticed that there's been a surge in YouTube videos, as opposed to in the last like year, 2 years, it was podcasts. Now it's YouTube videos.
Yeah. And we'd like to announce
podcasting's
the
a dead
TFG
medium.
Radio YouTube page will start.
Yeah, so as you get to that, when you start going to GTs, and basically at the what I call the regional level is when you start going to GTs like R's or Dice Hammers. They're not like huge, but you're playing much more, usually much better players because you're getting players from a larger area. Like,
well, I mean, that's the thing. You're not getting people who just mostly come to that store. You're getting people
right.
who come from a variety of places.
So you're getting a wider selection in regards to the meta. So it's a larger meta.
Mm-hmm. Variety is the spice of life, so I've been told.
Yeah. Sure is.
So
it's also
and then
I lose tournaments. That's what I'm going to go with.
Because of variety.
Yes. If everybody played the same shitty army and I got to play their counter, I'd win every time.
That's very true.
I'm the Phil Hellmuth of Warhammer 40K. If there was no luck involved, I'd win every game.
Sounds like those guys that say, hey, I figured out a way to play 40K with using no dice.
Oh my God.
There is a game someone is developing. It's the I don't know if you heard of the Armchair General.
No.
The YouTube channel.
I'm trying not to spend too much time on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're doing a horrible job of it. I'm just going to let you know.
I said a
right
try.
Now.
I didn't say I succeed.
That's fair.
But he developed a game. I think it's a video game, historical, obviously. But he said there's no dice. It involves basically no randomness. And I'm like, I'm out.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Cool. Way to make shittier chess.
Yes, if there was no randomness, Napoleon wouldn't have invaded Moscow in the winter.
True. And then once you go from the regional level, it's I called it almost like a national level. It's basically the super GTs,
right?
Like Nova,
super
LVO.
majors.
Yeah, because they usually attract more of a world. Obviously from a larger area, but it's usually like LVO attracts from people around the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get even a more diverse look at what you could possibly or what might work. Now the bad side of that, or the flip side of that, is you're also going to get people who interpret rules differently than you do. I'll just put it that way.
I believe you mean to say incorrectly.
I'll just say different.
Different. There's different
Wrong?
understandings.
Wrong.
We'll say different. It could be wrong, could be right. It's different.
Well, it depends on if I'm judging the event or not.
Yes. Well, do we want to bring up your fight phase ruling? Which is still
that I maintain was a miscommunication.
Which is
also,
still my
when confronted
favorite.
about it later, I said,
Yes.
"Oh well," and I walked away.
That is still my famous reaction to when being confronted by that.
Yeah. Which is honestly the only correct action when you are confronted by someone after making a judge call, even if you were completely wrong. It's just okay.
I mean, you asked for my ruling, and I gave you one. What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it was actually technically incorrect, but because I'm the judge, the technicality of the incorrectness doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So and at this point, if you plan on going to these larger events like LVO, Nova, if you're going to play in like a team tournament like the World Team Championships, things like that, then there's a lot more. If you really want to do well, especially, there's a lot more studying involved. Like I think with Jeff, I remember he wanted to practice against different armies. Mm-hmm. You know,
right?
You know, there's people, and there's Carlos on our team who learned when he was on the East Coast to only practice up to a certain turn, talk it out, and then re-rack and play again because that allows you to get more reps in.
Right.
Right. That's the War Machine style.
Yeah. So it's things like that where tricks like that come into play, especially if you want to do well in a national event like that. I don't know if there's anything else, Danny or John, that you want to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, what my point would be just the bigger the meta, the more. It's a weird thing is the more standardized it becomes. So like a small meta, like just your local store, things that are not actually good can be just ball breaking and can rule the roost, right? While the bigger the meta you go to, the more you start seeing templates. You start seeing actual like these things are just better, right? Because you're actually seeing more people playing them successfully against a variety of opponents, et cetera, et cetera. So it's one of those things you have to be very mindful of as a new player. Is you might have started doing well in your kind of smaller area with a list you designed and things like that, and you just got to understand that when you go into a larger meta, you're probably going to run into matchups you never have had to face before. And you might find that your list that's really good at the very local level is actually not very good at the national level, right? And that's just kind of how it goes, right? So there's much more room for variance. There's much more room for really jank at a low level. But once you get to the higher levels, it becomes less and less effective. And you see the lists that win those big events consistently all around are the generally the lists that are just whatever reason statistically better than others, right? They're just more optimal. They're more efficient.
It's a little ironic because the larger the events get, the less your knowledge of the meta matters. Because as the events get larger, what matters less is your understanding of the meta, and your ability to play the game is what matters. Like,
your ability to play your
opponent. The reason these super
opponent.
majors get won by the same group of people almost every time is because they're the best. And it's almost, if you want to discuss like the meta and go deep into the meta so that you can game the meta to win, you can only really do that at the low levels to game the meta to win.
I don't know. I think you can do it a bit at the high level, but it becomes less about what is everybody playing and what are these other players playing. Because like Alex Harrison did that at LVO, where he brought the flyer list knowing that orcs were going to be really popular, especially that Nanavati was going to bring them. But he still, he still did really well, right? And beat Nanavati because he looked what were other people playing. Brad Chester at the last real LVO, last LVO, he knew the Broviathan list was going to be around, and he built a list to counter it, right? Knowing and that's part of, again, being that high level player, of actually honestly having the sense of these are the people that
built for that meta and didn't win.
Right.
And the Brohammer Leviathan list is the only example outside of Yannari, because Yannari were super fucking broken.
Yes.
The meta list that I've seen as like one that comes to fruition and like absolutely dominates, and there was nothing you could do about it. Even like, but the Castellan was just one model.
But it was the list, like with Brandon's list.
But I didn't see anybody else besides Mike Snyder doing well with a list like that. Which shouldn't be surprising, since Brandon and Mike are on the same team.
Right.
Yes. Well, and they always
It's like the Brohammer thing with the Leviathan list. The Brohammer guys were the only ones dominating with the Leviathan list. Were there other Leviathan lists? Yes.
It's the same with the Beast Coast when they took the Yannari list.
Which brings me back around to my point of, when you're at big, huge events like that, what matters is the player and their skill, and less the meta list. Do you need to understand it if you're one of those players? Sure. If you're a small-time player, is your key to winning a super major playing a meta list? No. If you're an average player who wants to make a run of winning one of the big events, your key to winning one of those big events is not understanding the meta alone. It's understanding the meta, but it's understanding that you need to know how to play the damn game and play it really well, and get a ton of reps in play.
So that's your contribution, John?
Yes. My contribution is fuck the meta. Play games and learn how to play Knights. The games, and that's it.
That's why John plays Knights.
I play Knights because I only have to bring 4 models and my games are fast.
That's a fair comment.
Speaking of games, so luckily we've been able to play a few games in, finally.
Yep.
I am undefeated.
I am winless.
I am undefeated.
Yeah.
I played a game and won.
Yeah.
Against the most suboptimal army in the entire game.
And it doesn't matter what armies I played against. It just matters that I won.
That's true.
No, I played against Gene Seer Colton.
It just matters that you beat Tom.
Even, you know what? I think, I'm trying to remember
That's
now.
who I need to play next.
I think I only lost once against Tom.
I've lost to Tom. I don't mind losing to Tom. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, but I know I beat him every time we played in the playoffs for the league.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. That was always hilarious. Talk about salty.
Yeah, Tom. Well, Tom is young and full of passion. I'll put it that way.
How long do we get to call him young?
How much? I mean, relatively, I guess.
Compared to me, he is. He's like almost 20 years younger than me.
At what point in this podcast does us referring to him as young start to become a farce?
It's fair.
I don't know. He has that baby face. Much more of a baby face than you, John. You have an old man face now.
Yeah,
time has ravaged you, John.
I just look ancient. I look totally ancient. Look at this. I'm practically a fucking mummy. Look like somebody.
That's all Hollywood. That's all Hollywood, John.
It's all Hollywood. I put on 8 filters to make myself look like this on the stream.
Yes.
TikTok filter, Instagram filter,
Snapchat,
a Zoom filter, and a Snapchat filter.
Why don't you look like a cat then?
I'm not a lawyer. I can't be a cat. I'm not a lawyer. It's not allowed.
That's true. I've heard that's a rule.
That's reserved in perpetuity. It's entrenched on the internet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that's true.
Pocono Pete says that we can stop calling Tom young when he doesn't get drunk on the Twitch stream.
Fair enough.
Pocono Pete.
Oh my God.
I hope you're always in our chat.
Yeah.
You make some great contributions, buddy.
Yeah,
I always enjoy because Tom actually listens to the show.
Sad clown. That's exactly what I am, a drunk baby that doesn't sleep.
Tom actually listens to the show, especially when he's not on the show, because he does know we talk about him.
Yeah.
So that comment's gold.
I don't listen to the show when I'm not on it.
No.
They can say whatever they want about me. I honestly don't care. We
don't say anything. We just say you're not here and we move on.
Yeah, exactly. We enjoy our night.
Which is the best. That's fine. See, I'm literally the best contributor. Look at
that. At least in your own mind.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah. What's important is you believe that.
I can spin anything you say. Comes with colonization.
Jesus. Along with the smallpox.
Look, none of my ancestors came here before 1910. So everybody else can have that evil.
Mine came over because I'm pretty sure my oldest uncle was born in the U.S. So that would have to be the 1930s.
Yeah, on my dad's side, my great-great-grandfather came over, I think in 18-something into Texas, and on my grandmother's side, her family came over, I think in the early 1700s.
Oh, wow.
And on my mother's side, they were there, and they were in Colorado since the mid 1700s.
Okay.
So yeah, like the border, we didn't cross. Yeah, we didn't, as we like to say, we didn't cross the border. The border crossed us.
That's true.
Which is one day it's like, hey, guess what? You guys are Americans now. Oh, word. Oh, hey, all your farmland, yeah, give it to us. Fuck. Okay. You can still
all
work
Americans,
it, though.
But all your land is not yours.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, we live in confusing times.
Yeah, right. We live in confusing times where nobody has any rights. Hey, look, we still live in confusing times where nobody has any rights.
I think that's all of human history. We should just put it that way. How do you sum up human history? It was confusing times and no one actually had any rights.
Yes. I'm finishing the last book in the 3 Body Problem trilogy. Deaths.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm reading it and I'm like, God damn. I can totally see humanity doing this to itself over and over and over again. And then I think about it, I'm like, we've already done this to ourselves over and over and over again. God damn it. Science fiction sucks. This science fiction sucks. Why you gotta make me hate the future when I'm not even in it yet?
When you talk about the time we are in the future, it just sucks.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right. We bought into the future was going to be cool.
Where's my sports almanac to take back in time to my former self so I buy Bitcoin?
God.
Yeah, exactly. That's really all you need. It's like find a way to get a couple grand and be like, oh, there's this Bitcoin thing. You can buy one. You can buy one for a penny.
There was a meme going around, that back in the day, in like like 2007 or 8 or something like that, when Bitcoin first came out, whenever that was, right? I don't know when it was exactly. There was a StarCraft tournament where first place won like $500, second place won like 150, whatever. 7th through 9th or 10th place won 25 Bitcoins.
Oh shit!
Which means today, if those people, those Bitcoins,
held on,
they'd have like almost $1 million.
They probably forgot their passwords.
StarCraft tournament in like 2000 and whatever. I was like, oh my god, I need a time machine.
So I played Chaos.
I just need the ability to send a 1-sentence message to myself. Buy
all in Bitcoin and hold.
Yeah,
diamond hands.
build the
buy
second
diamonds?
Bitcoin mine. Period.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to say.
All right. So I played Chaos. John played his Knights, obviously, and Danny was giving a go at GSC. Giving it a go.
Like that. It wasn't totally bad. I mean, it was totally bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I tried to do a.
Let's talk about your list, Adam. I really like your list, Adam. I think it's actually.
You should talk about yours. My list doesn't matter. You should talk about yours.
So I tried 2 lists, but I'll go with the second one because the second one doesn't have Abaddon in it, and I might switch it to Iron Warriors. But
Abaddon?
The first list is just a Chaos Lord, Chaos Lord, a Warp Smith. Those are my HQs. 3 units of 15 Cultists. I think it was 2 Chaos Spawn because I just fulfill the points. And then, although the game with Tom, I took a Greater Brass Scorpion, which was great against the Grey Knights because one of the special rules is any if he's affected by any psychic power that causes mortal wounds, I don't dispel it, but I don't take the mortal wounds on a 4+.
What I'm hearing is you took that because you were playing Tom and Grey Knights.
Maybe. Right. But instead of that, I would have had 2 of the, I think it's Hellblades, the smaller flyer, Chaos Flyer.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been 2 Hellblades, 2 units of 3 Mutilators, and there's a reason for this, which actually worked really well with against Tom. Mm-hmm. Then 2 units of Decimators with 2 Soul Burner Petards each, and then 2 Contemptors with the Volkite Culverin, pair of Volkite Culverins in each arm. And I believe that was it. I think I had room for some more, but I think that was it for now.
I'm definitely coming around on the Volkites. Why don't you explain that?
The Volkite, it's a heavy 8, strength 6, AP 0, 2 damage. But the special rule is on a 6 to wound, you do 1 mortal wound, and they're 8 shots each. So because you have 2 of them, there's 16 shots. Yeah. And playing against Tom, who has a lot of invulnerable saves, and he kept on buffing them up with -1 damage. -1 to hit. Can only wound me on 4s. I don't care. I get on a 6, you get a more wound, or with the Soul Burners on a 2+, you take a mortal wound. So eat it. 2+ save, 1+ save, and he was putting all these buffs on him, defensive buffs. So, and I was getting the 6s. I was getting at least 1 6 every time I shot the gun. So you're rolling 6s, and they're on the Contemptor chassis, so they're only 9 wounds, but they're -1 damage. Any enemy shooting at them is -1 damage. 5+ and 1 will save, 3+ save. They only hit on 3s now, but they were near the Chaos Lord, so I reroll 1s to hit. And then the Decimators with the Soul Burners. When I don't have a Greater Brass Scorpion, I would Demon Forge 1 of them so I could reroll hits and wounds.
How many points is the Greater Brass Scorpion?
I think it's 500 and something. It was between that and the Chitin. The Chitin's 400 points cheaper, but not as good because the Chitin's basically just a knight.
Yeah, and it even looks like
not even like a great knight.
No, well, it's better than it was before.
If Chaos Knight Wardens end up being good, I'll definitely buy a Chitin or 2 to use.
Yeah. And then because the Greater Brass Scorpion still charges 3d6, and more importantly, they ignore any movement. They ignore any movement modifiers.
Also good.
What's up with those chromomancers ignoring invulnerable saves?
I don't know if that's a Necron thing or if they're gonna, because Nightbringer's one of his abilities is it ignores invulnerable saves.
Yeah, that's always been Necron's thing, is that they get to ignore invulnerable saves because what is it?
While, remember?
No, they took it away.
But that's something that exists in like 4th edition.
Yes,
that existed.
Yeah, Nightbringer used to
like
scythe
historically.
He was like, you have an save, lol.
Yeah, I used to take a Chaos Lord with the, what was it called, the Black Axe?
Yeah, Black.
Oh yeah,
Black Mace.
Because no, it's not a Black Mace. It was an axe. Because the axe ignored invulnerable saves, but not armor saves. And back in 3rd edition, there was no AP. You either ignored armor saves or you didn't.
Right. Yeah.
And back then, monsters, creatures, which is what a demon prince was, ignored armor saves. So when you take that axe, you ignored both armor and invulnerable saves. So I'd use it to attack like Terminators, basically.
Are you sure it wasn't the Black Mace? I know the Black Mace was a thing.
No,
that was a 5th edition thing, right?
Yeah.
Or 6th.
Yeah, that's where you got to like get extra damage, like depending on models killed, and there was a whole thing. Yeah.
And so the list is basically, and the reason I take the flyers and the mutilators is basically for two reasons. One is for deploy scramblers, and the other one is for engage on all fronts, which is basically recon. So the flyers move, I think, 20 to 60. So they jump first turn, get me recon. Second turn, if they're one of them still alive, they can give me recon more. And then the mutilators, because they're small, they're not huge like the obliterators. They just come in, deep strike in, and just hide somewhere and get me both deploy scramblers and engage on all fronts, which was happening against Tom. Mm-hmm. So and the footprint's much smaller. The base is still, I think, a 40 millimeter base. But so I was able to get a bunch of points with that. And the third thing I took was basically abhor the witch, because I don't have any psychers, so I can take that against Grey Knights or any other army that has a lot of psychers, like Thousand Suns, things like that.
It's too bad you had to do all those pretty Grey Knights so dirty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, especially when the with the mortal wounds. When it spikes, the Culverins are actually really good. Like there was one where I attacked, I think it was one of his Terminator squads, and I did, I hit like all 16 hit because I had the rerolls, and I think it was 6 mortal wounds. I did 6 mortal wounds, which is 2 guys, 2 Terminators, and then he had to make 6 saves, and then whatever other saves he had to make with the normal damage. So, well, yeah, it wasn't pretty. My only issue, I may do switch to Iron Warriors because it's easier to save and repair the Dreadnoughts and Decimators if I need to.
Right.
And then it's easier to kill vehicles if I need to, because I remember we played that one time, John, where I played as Iron Warriors, where I have the strat that you reroll hits and wounds against one vehicle, and it's anybody who shoots at them. And they also have a strat that heals, I think, 3 wounds on a vehicle, and then the Warpsmith can still do his D3.
Yeah, stupid knights having the stupid vehicle keyword.
Well, the problem is when I play against things like Tyranids or Tau who don't have vehicles.
What do you mean your Tyrannofex isn't a vehicle?
Well, Tom was upset because my Chaos spawn was not a demon.
Demon, which I have to agree does not make sense.
He doesn't have a demonic save. He just has a 5+ armor save.
But its spawners still. Never mind.
Like Danny said, they're the bovine of the Chaos War.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're demons, but they're just cows. So I don't know what you are expecting them to have a bull save. So you're saying
Adam was the Carthaginians tying he was tying the torches to the bull horns.
Yeah, something like that.
In the camp.
Yep.
So that was my list. It worked. I had a slightly different list when I played Danny, but it was still the mortal wounds.
There was a lot of mortal wounds coming at me from many angles.
And they move 9 inches, so they can get around most. They usually get a pretty good angle on whatever they need to shoot or whatever I want to shoot at. It's funny because Tom was trying to hide some of his squads behind some containers, and I got to shoot at them with the brass scorpion because the tail is about 1.5 feet high. So I was able to see over most of the stuff to shoot it at Tom. But it was, and being, especially for the demon engines, being ballistic skill 3 now instead of 4 is a lot. It's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's my list. I know, Danny, you're still trying to figure stuff out with the GSC and.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just
or you're not going to try to figure anything out and play something
better.
Yeah, exactly. Play something better. Maybe we'll see. I mean, it's just, GSC need a new codex. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to try Space Wolves next, I think. Since I got them all over there, I'm trying to paint up. I'm trying to get that done.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to see how it does. I also had the mortar, the rapier mortar.
How'd that go?
Yeah, you said that didn't go very well, right?
It did well the first turn, and then after that, I killed like 5 or 6 purifiers, and then after that, I couldn't kill one. Nice. He had one guy left. I couldn't kill him after like 3 or 4 tries.
That's a hell of a swing.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying. Tom was making all the saves. So, but I don't know. I don't know about that. It's only 85 points. No, it's 100. Because it's 20, it's like 110 or something like that. If I just take the one, if I just take the heavy bolter one, it's like 12 shots with a heavy bolter instead. The only difference is I don't get the out of line of sight shooting.
It's still helpful,
but I don't know if I really need it now. There's not too many things that completely block line of sight unless you're playing Nova L's.
Yeah, and the era of magic boxes is kind of done. So
yeah.
Well,
so I mean,
that's no fun.
I mean, it's a small footprint, so it's easy to hide. It ranges 60, especially on the new tables. The new table sizes.
That's big, yeah.
So I don't know if I want to keep it or get rid of it, or maybe get a second one. I don't know yet, so I'll have to figure that out. I still feel like I don't have enough punch. I mean, I have the mortal wound stuff, and the decimators are 180. If I wanted to do but if I want to do a third one, I have to get rid of a unit of mutilators. So I don't know if I want to do that.
No, you need to be able to play the mission.
Yeah, because the whole point of the army is to play the mission as opposed to just trying to kill things. So I mean, with the relocation of the cultists and deep striking obliterators and fast moving flyers, I'm always going to pick deploy scramblers and engage on all fronts. And the third one will depend on who I'm playing against. And I can usually hold at least 1, maybe 2 objectives, so at least get 5 points. And hopefully max out the secondaries as much as possible. So that's what that is. I'm still kind of figuring it out. So we'll see what happens. I know John's staying with his knights and now Space Wolves. So I need to play against like Space Wolves or Space Marines to see how it does against that kind of army.
I can get my Space Wolf stuff done and we can do that. I can't play the Dreadnought list because I want to play Dreadnoughts with Thunderwolf Cavalry for some crazy ass reason.
Because why not? It looks cool. I'll
just bring like 6 Eradicators, my Space Wolves, and Ragnar.
Yeah, the Eradicators would be a good test. Maybe I'll try
all the Assault Intercessors I can fit.
Jesus. Maybe I'll try.
Where's my White Scar army, Tom?
Yeah, Tom. Where's our Tom. White Scar army? Do you see? I was the communist meme right there. Did you see that?
I don't remember you putting up any money on that.
Yeah, no. I don't remember that at all.
In true communist fashion.
True.
Our army.
This is all true. All true.
We also hate
so we'll see.
Podcast. Don't add us.
We don't care. That's really what it comes down to. It's like we don't fucking care.
So John, you said you're going to try your Space Wolves next time?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get this stuff finished painted next week or this weekend. Pretty much it's all done. I got to do the highlighting for the grays or highlighting for the black armor.
Mm-hmm.
Go back over the bone color to make it pop, and then finish the basing, and I'm done.
Yes, sad clown. Tom does sound lazy because he is.
Sure is.
He's gonna be so mad after this episode.
That's fine.
That's why we're saying it.
You're talking to the guy that just talked shit about a Warhammer hero, so I don't know what you're.
Well, it's just Jason Horn. Jesus, that doesn't really
I know
count.
Jason. We love Jason.
We do. It's like, look, the more we talk shit about you, generally the more we like you. That's just kind of how it works.
That is true.
But when I'm on the show, you don't talk shit about me.
Well, why do you think?
Yes, everyone. It is the year of Tom. So
it is the year of Tom, yeah.
Danny, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I part of me wants to try playing my. They're not Elysians anymore because those cease to exist. But I guess my my Scions. Play my Flyer Army, see how that does.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I still got tons of Tyranids. I mean, a lot of it's just going to be testing. I mean, maybe test like a GSC Tyranid mashup.
Shoot down flyers anymore?
I mean, they're not that.
Well, with the max of -1, it's not.
Yeah, they're not that hard to like take down.
That's right.
It's not like the old Eldar flyers where you're like, you're -5, and you're like, okay.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Like that's gone away. So like, it's just I don't know how many people. I think the same problem they had in 8th is going to be there in 9th. Of sure they can drop down, do a punch, move around the board, but they can't stay on objectives. Right. Like, and that's what you need to do to win the game. Right. So I think they're still very much running into that problem, but it, be fun to try it out. I mean, I'm very much into like the same way I was in the beginning of 8th. Was just, it's a lot of testing. It's a lot of, let's see, throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what sticks before I can really say for sure, like, okay, this is what is good. And I should be playing and like getting reps in because I want to take it to a tournament or something like that. And seeing as I don't know when the next tournament I'll ever go to is at the moment, right? Like it's kind of hard to like, pick a daisy and be going. I mean, I do kind of want to play with my Hierophant though. I need to fix him, but I do want to get a game where I just bring some giant ass bugs and see how that goes.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah, for in regards to staying power for holding objectives, my cultist staying power is hopefully you shooting at everything else and not shooting at my cultists.
Yeah. Please don't shoot cultists. That's their staying power. Please don't shoot me.
I mean, like I said, I'm going to have 2 flyers and probably 2 units of mutilators in your backfield doing stuff. So
right.
And then
someone might not have the luxury of actually having the ability to shoot at them.
And that I think that was Tom's issue where I'm like, why are you not shooting the cultists? But he was trying to shoot my decimators.
Backfield sounds like something I'd find on the less than reputable Warhammer Reddit.
Well, now someone's probably going to type it up.
Yep, exactly. Now you're going to get your wish soon. It's sent to you. You just spoke that into existence, my man. Have fun.
I got mutilators in my backfield.
But I think that's it for tonight. I didn't see any. I didn't see any questions in the chat.
I liked Airborne's comment to himself in the future. Buy bitcoins and an island to live on for all of 2020 to 2021.
Right. Yeah.
That is, you know what? That's a better one than just to buy the bitcoins. That caveat about the whole year of 2020 is a good one to put in there.
Yep.
So real quick, a little bit of housekeeping. Once again, our sponsors this week are Hammerhead Games. Make sure to go to hammerheadgames.net and check out their website. Also, make sure to check out the Shark Tank, which is their storefront on Facebook. They also have a consignment table. Tony's always getting all kinds of stuff in. I'm surprised. I mean, that's a lot.
That man works some magic to get all that stuff. I don't know what he does, but
yeah, because I hear from other stores and like, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then I see him with this pile of stuff, so I don't know what he's doing. I don't think I want to know.
But it's working.
But it's working.
Yep.
So make sure you check out their Facebook page. Their sponsor is Gameology Pasadena. Just go to gameologygames.com and check out their website.
Great store.
Get stuff. And that also ties into what we're going to do. I think we're going to try to pump up our Patreon because it's gotten to a point where it doesn't benefit me, to be honest.
Look at that integrity right there.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not going to be like these other people that are going to tell you how much better they're going to make everything. And everything kind of looks or sounds the same. But fair. I'm not just going to ask you to do it for free. starting next month. So the first episode of next month, we'll do a contest where we'll give a prize to one of our Patreon members, and we'll do it live on air because I don't want any shenanigans. And so we'll pull the name live on air. And again, thankfully, the first prize we're going to give is provided by Gameology Games, Pasadena. And it's going to be the Sergeant Ripper Jackson, which, if you don't know, is the female
damn
sergeant.
Can I sign up for our Patreon?
Our own show?
You can.
Can I still win, though?
I mean, John still owes me money.
Naked ninth on the OnlyFans. Pocono Pete says, "God damn, Pocono Pete is the best."
Please come to LVO so we can drink with you.
For real, we'll give you Adam's OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. So if you
rainbows coming out of his ass. Sorry. And he's fully clothed, unfortunately.
Some people will want that.
I was gonna say there's an audience somewhere for
that. So just go to patreon.com, look up TFG Radio, sign up. I think you can sign up for as little as $1. Just sign up and you'll be eligible to win the Sergeant Ripper Jackson model.
And even if you don't care for it, you can sell that model on eBay for a lot. So
yeah. And we'll try to give away something every month. Sometimes it'll be something like this. Sometimes it'll be big, but it will be something 40K related or GW related. Especially if you're like Age of Sigmar, like John does apparently.
Man, those models are just pretty. I mean, you can hate all you want.
I'm not hating; they are pretty. I'm just not sure if I want to jump in.
I mean, I enjoy Warcry, and I like Underworlds. The actual full AOS game is a little like I don't know if I have time for like a full army size for more than one full army size game
online.
I play Underworlds online, which is basically just the game.
Yes, it's plays similar to the game.
It's fun. I like it a lot.
They got the new lizard set for warbands or for Underworlds coming out that I'll have to get.
You have to get.
I do.
Sadly, wants to know if it's entries per dollar.
It will be.
Okay.
It'll be, you know, I think the base one is like $5.
I was remembering on my credit card. I want that model. I actually don't. I don't give a shit about fucking Imperial Guard. Sigvald is sexy. Yeah, with his assless chaps armor.
Hey, you know what? That fits the fluff, and I think bravo for them doing it.
I agree. And I think anybody who makes that into a not a Fulgrim, but a Sanguinius model must paint it also with the assless armor if you're going to convert it into Sanguinius.
I feel like that's a strong
we don't know exactly what happened on the Bridge of the Vengeful Spirit, but the assless chap armor might have come into play because that dude got wrecked.
Oh man. TFG Radio, look for it on Patreon.
It's not a show if I don't make fun of Sanguinius at some point.
So yeah, we'll try to make this. Not try. We'll make this a monthly thing. See how it goes. We'll have something different every month for everybody.
Airborne wants to know if he has to put the dollars individually onto your stage.
We prefer just the method, but
make it rain. The rain method, yeah.
Bonus points for rain if it rains. I think that we'll end on that high note. John, anything else?
No, I got my jab in at Sanguinius and Blood Angel players at the end.
There we go. Danny, anything for any last words for the night?
Play games, be nice to each other.
If in a safe environment.
Don't write hit pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Don't write hit pieces.
If you have zero integrity, don't write a hit piece.
Yeah, if you're thinking about writing a hit piece, go for a walk. Jerk off. You're going to end up with more than what you got anyway.
Wow.
And not have to delete your Facebook page.
That's true.
Well, we're all horrible.
I never claimed otherwise.
I don't care.
Well, we know your past, so.
Lies and slander. Lies and slander.
Why I'm afraid of you.
Lies and slander. That's all I can say. Lies and slander.
Good night, everybody, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
See you.